Imagine this. You wake up and your phone is missing. Two friends offer explanations. One of your friends says, well, maybe aliens abducted it to study human technology. And your other friend says, you probably left it in the kitchen. Which one do you check first? This is the essence of Occam's razor, the timeless rule that when faced with competing explanations, the simplest one is usually the right one. This idea comes from William of Ockham, a 14th century English friar. He lived in an age where philosophers loved complexity, stacking invisible angels on pins, inventing metaphysical machinery for every question. But Ockham thought differently. He believed the universe didn't need extra clutter. His razor was a mental blade, cutting away assumptions until only the necessary remained. Picture medieval astronomers. To explain the movement of planets, they imagined gigantic crystalline spheres stacked in the heavens, moving in perfect circles, which were pushed by angels. It worked, but barely. And then the scientists came along and said, what if the Earth just moves around the sun? One cut with the Occam's razor, and suddenly the universe became simpler, cleaner, and more accurate. Occam's razor doesn't say the world is simple. It says start simple. Don't multiply explanations beyond necessity. Think about conspiracy theories. Suppose your neighbor doesn't wave to you. One explanation, they were distracted. Another, they're part of a secret cult plotting against you. Which do you believe? The cult story is juicier, but Occam would nudge you towards the obvious. Maybe they just didn't see you. Our brains love drama and complexity. The razor reminds us that reality often hides in plain sight. Occam's razor is really about humility. The more assumptions we stack, the more fragile our beliefs become. Why invoke 10 hidden causes when one will do? That's why science, philosophy, even detective stories thrive on it. Sherlock Holmes famously echoed the principle: when you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Or, as Einstein put it, everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. The razor doesn't demand simplicity, it demands discipline. But here's the twist. The simplest explanation isn't always the correct one. Nature can be shockingly complex. Quantum physics defies common sense. Human psychology rarely reduces to neat formulas. The razor is a guide, not a guarantee. And sometimes the messy answer is the true one. That's what makes philosophy exciting. The razor sharpens thought, but it can cut too deep if misused. In Ockham, his razor got him into trouble. He challenged the church's heavy, complicated doctrines, daring to say, don't add what you can't prove. And for this, he was excommunicated, forced into exile, and lived under threat until his death. Simplicity, it turns out, is not always politically convenient. Sometimes, cutting away illusions cuts into power itself. So next time you face competing explanations, whether in science, history, or your own life, pause. Ask yourself which story requires fewer leaps, which one works without multiplying mysteries. Maybe your lost phone really was stolen by aliens, but before you search the skies, check the kitchen table. That's the wisdom of Occam's razor. The simplest path isn't guaranteed to be true, but it's usually the smartest place to start.